I'm here with soprano opera singer Greta Bradman. Welcome, Greta. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Jess. Good to be here with you.
You're currently touring Geelong this is the release of your first operatic album, My Hero. How's the tour going?
Yeah, it's been really amazing and so energising. There's something about, thus far we've been through other sort of regional centres in Victoria and through Melbourne. We've been through regional New South Wales and in Canberra as well, and we've still got South Australia to go, and then over to WA and Tassie and elsewhere. And there's something about, I think, this style of concert. You know, it's a sort of recital program, but it focuses on the record that I recorded last year with Richard Bonning and the English Chamber Orchestra over in London. And yeah, I don't know, I think that it has somehow struck a chord. I think Richard Bonning absolutely delights in operetta and some of the sort of the lighter songs that his late wife, the great Dame Joan Sutherland, recorded. So things like I Dreamt I Dwelt in Marble Halls and My Hero, which is the title track of the album. And I think the combination of, bringing to life the operatic arias on the one hand, but then on the other hand, these beautiful songs that can sort of conjure up memories of special moments for audience members seems to be really striking a chord.
What made you fall in love with opera?
People like Richard Bonning and, some of the conductors that I grew up listening to, thanks to my parents and my grandparents. So my mum's dad, who I called Papa, he was an amateur opera singer. And so we used to go and have dinner at their place once a week, and the first thing you'd see when you'd open the door was the pianola, which is like a player piano that you pedal and you can put rolls in and play music and sing along. And he had a whole heap of operatic repertoire and as well as musicals and show tunes and that kind of thing. So I used to pedal away and he'd sing, and sometimes we'd sing together. And then my dad's parents, so my paternal grandpa and my grandma, were both really into music. My grandpa was an amateur piano player and sometime composer even, and loved the soprano voice. So he used to sit with me at the record player and play all sorts of records and ask me about what I was hearing and the different voices and who I liked. And so that was kind of my introduction, I guess.
Your short career is actually since only 2010, I believe, that you sort of really took off, and you are so acclaimed. You've won many prestigious awards. What does it feel like winning the Australia International Opera Award, or the critics, all those Critic Choice Awards?
Yeah.
Nominated
things like
for an aria.
Yeah. Things like the Artist of the Year, the Limelight Artist of the Year award for last year, or the Australian Artist of the Year. Things like that are really, I guess they're kind of gratifying in the sense of, okay, I'm doing something right. But at the end of the day, you just want to put your head down and do your absolute best for the music and also for the audiences. I'm so passionate about the music that I sing and about the idea that music can connect us across generations, and that's the incredible thing I think about classical music, that the music that I'll be singing tonight here in Geelong or on the weekend in Adelaide is music that my grandparents would have known. And I sing a lot of music that it was written this year, last year as well, but there's something about music that was written a while ago that allows us to be connected across the generations through the memories and through those memories of loved ones and of occasions all together, which I think is a very special thing.
What opera is so timeless, and it'll be absolutely beautiful in our own St Mary's Cathedral is where I believe you're playing.
Yeah, it's such a gorgeous cathedral. And, you know, I think that's the other thing about this tour. It takes me back to my singing roots in a way, which is, you know, through my, I'm from Adelaide, the city of churches. And through my teens and through my early 20s, singing in all manner of choirs and also the a cappella vocal trio that I used to sing in, and alongside, you know, a lot of, I guess, solo recitals and concerts in churches. I'm very comfortable in those spaces.
Tell us what we can expect to hear on your album, My Hero.
Yeah, so, you know, hopefully there's really something for every classical music lover. You know, there are beautiful operatic arias, things like, you know, Casta Diva from Norma by Bellini, which I have to say, before I went to Cardiff and studied with Dennis O'Neill, there is no way I thought that role and that aria were just sacred territory that I just would not touch. And yet Dennis made me learn the role. It's a role that I've come to absolutely adore. The aria and the cabaletta, which means kind of like a short aria that follows Casta Diva, the main aria, are just beautiful. And then there are lighter things like I Dreamt I Dwelt in Marble Halls, which is the most beautiful song, and it seems to connect with so many people. It was recorded by Dame Joan Sutherland amongst a lot of other people, including, would you believe, Enya. So, you know, there are a lot of different versions of that particular song out there, and it's just gorgeous. And then, you know, there are other little, I guess, gems alongside the operatic arias, for instance, Verdi Il Trovatore d'Amor sulla di Rose, which is another operatic aria. But the gems, things like When You Wish Upon a Star, which are really, you know, that one's really meaningful to me, because when I was growing up on a farm in the Adelaide Hills, and, you know, quite often you'd find me wishing upon a star in the evenings if I could possibly see the stars.
You weren't alone. I think that's one of everyone's childhood favourites.
Yes, I think so. And, you know, things like that, it just... I guess it's a lot of music that means a great deal to me in one way or another.
So what's next? What's your next big thing that's inspiring
good question.
You at the moment?
You know, I am really excited about my next album, and I think it'll be really beautiful. It'll be quite different to this one in some ways. It'll be with choir and orchestra and organ, and just be some of the, you know, I guess some of the songs that really take me back to another area of what I love about classical music. And I've also got some more work with Richard coming up, which is really exciting, and some operas, some fully staged operas, which I'm so excited about, because the last few years have been such a whirlwind of sort of concert after concert after tour, that by the time operas have sort of presented themselves, I've been booked up. So I've intentionally sort of coveted time, which is now full of some operas around the place as well.
And that's something you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, like I have done operas previously, but I guess more while I was still in Adelaide. And so I've not done any operas outside of Adelaide yet.
Which is your favourite?
Oh, my favourite opera. Do you know such a hard question. I do love La Bohème. I think La Bohème is just gorgeous by Puccini. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't fault it. It's got some of the most beautiful music I think ever written. Puccini was an absolute genius, and that's like almost the pinnacle of his creative powers right there. Another opera I have to say that I love, and a role that I love, is Leonora from Il Trovatore by Verdi. I think, again, it's just absolutely stunning, such dramatic writing, wonderful writing for both soprano, mezzo and tenor, as well as the choruses, just gorgeous.
Where can they find more information about yourself?
Yeah, well, they can find me online. My website is gretabradman.com. I'm actually really active on Facebook, and I try to respond to everyone who writes to me. So I'm just Facebook.com/Greta Bradman, so that's really simple. I think I take my inspiration actually from my grandpa, because I think if he can write back to everyone who wrote to him in his lifetime, and he used to get like cratefuls of mail a couple of times a week, and of course have to reply by hand, then I can, you know, reply to the, relatively small number of correspondences that I get. But certainly
much longer.
Yeah, no, well, you know, I've been amazed at how people have responded to this tour and how many lovely letters and replies on Facebook and so forth I've been getting to my posts. So they can contact me via my Facebook page, Facebook.com/Greta Bradman, my website, gretabradman.com. I'm also on SoundCloud somewhat.
Thank you, Greta. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jess. It's been my pleasure.